It's a mid-game, though. I don't think there's any doubt about both these teams.
The dire side.
Go ahead, Parker, take it away.
All right, we've got Extinct on the support Vengeful Spirit. Ghost going to be playing the Axe. It's going to be Nana, Onya, and Voka. Debut TF playing the Drow Ranger. And that does leave ADTR playing the Shadow Shaman.
Okay, so these lanes looking fairly standard. 2-on-2 coming out for Invasion. It'll be Axe Venge in the off lane. And Na'Vi, are they going to do the 2-on-2 also? Kind of depends on Go Black here, if he wants to support Phobos up top or move down bottom to make sure Havos has a nice time in this safe lane, which he should. Viper, that lane dominator.
30 seconds to battle.
Always going to be hard to kind of contest a Viper's lane. You don't really want to go kind of aggressive on him. See the kind of early wards getting planted down, not too much to say about them. Don't want these teams knowing where they're being planted. And
yeah, the only one to note really is this dire ward down here. It'll block out this camp in the jungle, so no double pull through for the supports. It's a minor bottleneck, but nothing too crazy. Everything else just going to get vision of these runes. Down bottom, looks like Dendi will be able to secure one of the bounties, and up top, Nana will be able to grab one as well. So even out of the gate here, Parker, one bounty apiece.
Yeah, both mid laners getting it, so neither going to pull off to like a nice early game edge because of that. So we'll see how these kind of two teams match up now. You have got the Earthshake on the Radiant side, which gives you that slightly easier offlane if you choose to drop a fissure down there, or you can kind of help out whichever lane you want. You can sit behind Dendi, protect him. You can look for kills on the kind of offlane Axe. There's a lot of options with this Earthshaker.
Yeah. Now, I want to mention Yol's build here. 7 tangos on this line. He is ready to go blow for blow and get some space created here for Havos. This is going to be tricky for Ghost. He's not going to get a lot of farm out of this lane. You see him already taking a lot of harassment and pushback. He's got plenty of regen for now, but we'll see how long it lasts. Looks like the Earthshaker going to hang around mid and keep Dendi safe. We'll see if he can find an edge against Nana. And already 4-1 on the CS. Dendi off to a great start.
Yeah, getting the souls right off the bat, that's going to help you out. And being a Quaswex Invoker, yeah, you've got the Drow Aura, but it's going to take some time before that Drow Aura really gives you a lot of damage in this lane. So you've got to be pretty cautious about this. And Na'Vi just happy to kind of play things slowly with these lanes, not look to really go too aggressive, look for kills. The main lane they want to punish is going to be this Axe. They picked this Viper, not a hero you see too often. That's kind of that lane dominator. Something you'll see picked against these Axes, the Bristlebacks, these kind of tanky melee heroes who you look to want to zone out.
Yeah. I mean, often you'll see him in the mid lane just to counter somebody that can farm very well, often like a Shadow Fiend, but he works very well in this kind of a situation as well. The most in free farm heaven for the most part, and we'll see what build he goes for. He could rush the mech. Some of it depends on what Dendi wants to do. He could look for a fast Yule Scepter to farm up in the jungle, get all that mana regen. He could also be the mech carrier for the team. So Na'Vi with some options here. The Viper could also just look towards rushing like an Aghanims or something like that and really put out a lot of damage once they group up and start team fighting.
Seems a pretty standard start. Yeah, we haven't seen any big rotations yet. No attempts on a first blood, but Dendi at mid, he's been doing absolutely fantastic. 16 souls already. He is well on top of CS as far as this 1v1 matchup in mid goes.
And look at this, it is Nana doing a Quaswex build, so no Forged Spirits, at least not early on. Like you mentioned, when you have the Drow Ranger, you have the damage you need so he can kind of control the game, make some space, but he'll need some farm to do that. And I think he'll be hoping for a fast Orchid here, but unless things really turn around, fast Orchid not going to be possible.
For now, Ghost for the most part deciding he doesn't want anything to do with this bottom lane. Na'Vi with no vision of him and going to be left with a free farm lane for Havos. It does kind of open things up for the supports. They can stack the jungle, they can pull, they can roam. It does kind of free them up a lot more when they don't actually have to constantly zone and pressure the Axe.
Yeah. Go Black getting some good stacks here. It looks like just a triple stack at the hard camp, but something for Dendi to retreat to. And that's the power of the Shadow Fiend. He does well in lane, then he just moves into the jungle, nukes him down with the Shadow Razors, and all of a sudden he's even further ahead. Looks like Phobos having an okay time in the off lane. He's level 3, 4 CS, or 3 CS rather. Not so great, but not so bad either. Ghost at about a similar point now as he's moved into the jungle.
Yeah, seems both offlaners have pretty similar amounts of kind of XP. Maybe slight advantage to your Axe as he has rotated off that offlane to go back into the jungle, so... It's a level 1 Earthshaker still. Koblack's been spending a lot of time just moving around the map, not really able to find kills or even too much defensive play. There haven't actually been any invasion rotations with this support duo of theirs. Instead, Extinct just kind of getting levels in XP in the jungle. Similar story to ADTR, he's level 3, so both invasion supports getting a bit more as far as the XP goes.
Yeah, Koblack though, playing rather selfless and spending his time stacking up in the jungle. Looks like Yol doing the same thing here. He's got a stack at the other hard camp. So they are preparing this jungle for the carries to come in and find some farm here. Rotation starting to come out. Boots on ADTR as well as the Venge played by Extinct. So these supports are a little more mobile. Now in the bottom lane, Havos moves into this tower. It's an unchecked lane. Glyph comes out, but he should be able to do a good bit of damage here if Invasion do not rotate. And there we go. We'll see something coming in.
Looks like Invasion for now. I think Na'Vi with a fancy ring on Havos. This T1 taking a lot of damage, and I think Invasion just going to react to Venge with a wave of terror, pull the creep wave off, and that's a pretty good way of dealing with a push. Venge will get a lot of XP, not to mention negate most of the pushing power coming out of Na'Vi.
Yeah, all you have to do is pull those creeps off the tower, and there's not really much they can do. Havos not just strong enough to tank that tower quite yet, but he'll just move into a magic stick. No real inkling of where he's going to go with this build. Dendi, he's got to sage his mask, so I would imagine that'll be that Yule Scepter first item, a great farming item on the Shadow Fiend, and also gives him a lot of utility to try and find some kills. Ghost is rotated back down bottom, and they're not giving Havos the space that he wants to free farm away. But even you just compare him to the Dro, there's a huge disparity. 35 last hits on Havos, and only 23 on the Dro Ranger. It seems like Na'Vi are just simply getting a lot more out of these lanes.
Invasion Oz seem to give their lanes a bit more to their supports. You've got both the Invasion supports up to level 4. Your Venge got a couple last hits at bottom. Your Shadow Shaman got a couple at top. So I guess that's where maybe the carries themselves are slightly ahead for Na'Vi, but the supports for Invasion. You get a fast level 6 on Shadow Shaman, you can push down towers, you can start taking objectives a lot earlier. So as far as Invasion concerned, I don't think it's a huge issue that their kind of cores are getting heavily outfarmed. It's going to come down to what they do when they get level 6 on someone like the Shadow Shaman.
Okay. And what level is he now? 4? Okay, he's having a pretty good time. Finding some space. WTF now getting some as well. Brewmaster starting to move around a little bit. Only level 5, so no split, no real chance for a kill. Brown boots, a little bit of gold to his name. Really nothing too crazy coming out from him. Double damage picked up by the Venge. Will she be able to do anything with it though?
Yeah, seems not too much brewing just yet. DK Phobos in the mid lane, going to be looking for his level 6, and it seems Na'Vi happy just to sit back, deal with their farm. They have got the 2 most farmed teams right now, so from that point of view, things are going solid for them here in Game 1.
Yeah, this is great for Na'Vi. When you have these stacks, the Shadow Fiend can move over, and now Phobos gets a lot of space in the mid. He'll at least leave some XP and maybe find a few last hits as well. How's the Invoker doing? Okay. 28 last hits. That sounds all right, but 53 up on Dendi now as he started to clear out these stacks. He's really pulling ahead, and this Yule's Scepter is coming out pretty soon.
Well, we'll see where kind of Invasion looked ahead. It feels like for now they are just going to keep getting more and more outbound if they don't try and make a move soon. So, Shadow Shaman just getting his leech on at top lane, trying to soak in that XP. WTF though, he's getting some good farm of his own, even if it isn't quite on the same level as Na'Vi's cores.
Down bottom, they have a goat, but can't find it. Ends up on the other side of the fissure, and Ghost will be okay for now. Tranquil boots up on him, but no real progression towards that Blink Dagger.
That's a bit of a worry. I feel like Invasion need that initiation before they can really start trying to take control of this game. They want to try and stop Na'Vi from outfarming, they've got to do it by fighting. And Shadow Shaman hitting 6 allows them to take towers, but you still have got that kill potential. That really comes from the Axe with the Blink Dagger.
Oh, here we go, bottom lane. The push begins, or continues, I should say. Havos doing a lot of damage to this tower. Those 2 points in Nether Toxin helping him out. Radiant get the kill on the tower, but this could be a first blood go. Here we go, Tornado EMP, Yol locked in place. That's a first blood drawn by Nana. And there you have it. Invasion strike first. They lose their tower, but they get a Lion as a consolation.
And they're doing good pressure at top lane as well. Someone has to rotate TP, otherwise your Drought Ranger are going to just take a tier 1 here. It's going to be your Viper Havos who says, we can't have that. We give a first blood. We can't be trading a tower for a tower at the same time.
Yep. Now Havost looks like he'll be the one to go for the mech. And there's that Yule Scepter out on Dendi. So now the farming really begins. One of the great things about this item is the mana regen. He can spam out those raises and really start to turbo farm. This is where Invasion may need to look to pressure Dendi a little bit. Maybe try to get some aggressive wards down, make something happen, and not give him free farm. But now in the bottom lane, they're going on to Go Black. They'll catch him. And that's another kill for Invasion.
Nice little smoke around. They don't find the Dendi Shadow Fiend in the jungle, but they find the prize at least. And they can start pressuring this bottom lane, force heroes off the other lane, and just kind of create space for the Drow Ranger. We saw last time when Na'Vi bring 3-4 heroes bottom, suddenly Drow's getting free farm, damage on the tier 1 tower, so forces Na'Vi to make a decision as to what they're going to defend. And right now, Surf Lord's drop on lane, no one here to defend.
There is no glyph either. Na'Vi may just be forced to concede this one. They're going to be farming up in the jungle. Maybe making some rotation elsewhere, but this is going to be a freebie down here. Who's going to grab the last hit? It will go to the Axe. So there you go. Some progress towards that Blink Dagger. Seemed like he was off to a slow start, but all of a sudden he's got a fair bit of gold to his name.
Malaysian squad, they've kind of picked up some kind of momentum here. Na'Vi not really looking as good as they were a couple minutes ago. A couple of kills, a tower, and Invasion is suddenly looking not too bad here.
Yeah, they maybe just be waiting for this mech to be completed on Havost before they really start grouping up and team fighting. Havost will pressure the tier 1 up top, and they'll just get rid of some of the space that WTF had. Just a Morbid Mask for now. Could be a Mask of Madness if he wants to farm up, or it could just be that casual mask and move into a Yasha, look for some other farming tools. A lot of options for him. Invasion keeping the aggression up though, and that'll be a bounty rune picked up by ADTR.
Team CF for now, Invasion going to be trying to fight around the Surf Mode top lane. WTF, they're trying to go on the Drow Ranger here. Phobos out of range, but they got a Fissure. He's on the wrong side of the Fissure. He wants to split. That's going to get him off, but Dave, he's kept safe. It's a defensive split. Looks like just going to be used for a full retreat. Go Black, he'll haste it up. Should be okay. Hitting by that Earth Spander.
Well, unfortunate Na'Vi couldn't do more there, but they did force out a couple of TP reactions, so not the worst. Using the Brew ult so defensively, far from ideal, but at least they don't lose anything along the way. Go Black's so underleveled with a haste rune on the Earthshaker. If he's level 6, he can get in position for a good Echo, but just not an option for him quite yet. There's that mech up on Havost, so maybe, just maybe, Na'Vi look to get more aggression here.
We'll see that they're going to have to react right now to the Invasion, at least pushing aggression. Invasion not so much looking for kills, but looking to take more towers, more objectives. The Drow and Venge both up here, and if Axe with some more tower money will have a very fast Blink Dagger. Already getting the last on the bottom tier 1 tower and looking for some more.
Tower goes down. Havost, they want to fight this. Yule set up onto the Axe, but there's a silence on the Yule. Just too much damage. They bring him down. Dendi with the Shadow raises. Na'Vi finally get on the scoreboard. Now back in the mid lane. Wards come down. Earthshaker falls. Phobos is here, but no ultimate. Only so much he can do. They'll just try to clear up the wards and save this tower.
Pretty even trade in the end, I feel. The Surf Mode money going Na'Vi's way as well, so Dendi and Havost can get very, very farmed. The big thing is killing your Axe before he picks up a Blink Dagger. Ghost getting close and close to it, even got another last tower last hit, but Na'Vi managed to burst him down. And that's going to just kind of slow down Invasion's timing here. They really want that Blink Dagger. They want to be able to take down the tier 1 towers, grab a Roshan when possible, even Venge building in towards this medallion. Na'Vi are always going to have to keep close tabs on Roshan if they want to contest.
Yeah, now the nice thing about all this movement around the map in the side lanes is Nana's had a lot of space, and now all of a sudden that Orc is not so far away. And a big item pickup for him. That opens up a lot of options for the Invoker. You'll often see them go into Ghost Walk, move around, start hunting around the map, and look for those kind of pickups. Similar to like what a Slark would do, and he gets a Shadow Blade, and that can really become an irritant if left unchecked.
So Invasion is going to keep their Axe in bottom lane, try to get him some more farm. Meanwhile, Nana mid, working on that Orchid, getting very, very close to it. And Invasion, for the most part, happy to slow things down until they have these couple of key items. The Orchid with a Blink Dagger is going to be very potent for them to fight around. Now, on top of that, they've got Aegis. WTF picks that up. You've got Aegis, Orchid, and Blink Dagger all coming up at very similar times.
Yeah, and now he's going to have a Yasha on the way. This Dro looking a lot better than she was in the lane, that's for sure. Dendi still #1 on net worth, so he's sitting pretty comfortable up there. He has the Blink Dagger now. That gives him a little bit more of an initiation power. And even if he can just blink in, catch somebody with a Yules on a retreat, that that can end up being a free kill. Invasion will be forced back here as Na'Vi clear out their jungle and continue farming away. Glancing at the graphs, it's a pretty even game here, Parker. A very minor golden experience lead for Na'Vi, but Invasion, after securing that Roche, leveling things out quite a bit.
Tower is under attack.
Imagine Invasion now with this will look to start to like Jackie. Dendi mid gets way too aggressive. Certain wants to drop with the shackles. Can he bring down Dendi? Time he gets high. Oh no! He blows up. Boom goes your pinata. They want a second here. They lose the Shadow Shaman in the meanwhile, but Nana on the right. He has not got the Aegis. He's looking like he's in trouble. He's surrounded by the Brew Bears. Go Black won't be able to bring him down. He goes in this. Oh, Na'Vi now in trouble perhaps. They're going to lose a boss here at this rate. The mech's already been popped. It's a 2-for-2. They'll lose the Aegis. Phobos out of the split though. He's got no way out if they get the stunner and it's slow on him. Could have been in a bit more trouble there. Looks like Na'Vi at least hold their own in the end.
Yeah, they get rid of the Aegis, so it's not a bad fight. A pretty break even there. Unfortunate they lose 2 of their cores, but they do slow down that axe a little more. He already has his Blink Dagger, so that kill doesn't hurt too much, but even getting roster wards used in a fight like that instead of on towers can be considered a victory. They'll go into this tier 1 mid. Glyph comes out. Looks like Na'Vi wanted to defend. Here we go. You'll set up on the Shadow. Now the Dendi gets stunned up. The tower goes down. Does not get denied. Now ADTR, he's on the run. He'll go down. There we go. Silence of the drone. Not enough to save him. And, well, not ideal for Na'Vi. They don't get the deny on the tower, but at least they get 1 kill out of it.
I think for Na'Vi, just looking to kind of slow down Invasion, taking 50 trades when Invasion are kind of at one of their peaks of this lineup. The Axe Blink, the Orchid, the Aegis, that was one of those timings where Invasion were meant to be a lot stronger, but Na'Vi picking these mid-game heroes, the Brewmaster, the Viper, having a mech up on the Viper at that time, having your Brew Blink, allowed them to actually take a 5v5 fight even into the Aegis in the blink of the axe.
Yeah, you have some good heroes to peel up for the Dro, but in a chaotic fight like that, it's easier said than done. Even when he has the Aegis, couldn't really get in a great position to really make it happen. Okay, so Invoker's starting to move around a little bit more now. Finds his level 11, so things getting a little bit better for Nana. Closing that gap behind Dendi, actually. Only about 500 net worth behind. Not too shabby, given that the lane was so one-sided.
Yeah, I think for Invasion, they want to make sure they don't slow down. They need to keep take towers as frequently as possible, even without the Aegis. They want to try and fight around, especially cooldowns like the Lion Finger, the Brewmaster Split. When these ultis are on cooldown, that's really your time to strike.
And it looks like that's going to be the idea. Invasion moving bottom lane, the tier 2 tower, taking a lot of damage. There will be a glyph available. Na'Vi also lost their courier. Not sure when that happened, but he is down for another 50 seconds. Sabos does get the tier on top as the Viper. Glyph comes out and looks like Na'Vi may be thinking about a defense. And Glyph usually a pretty good indicator of that. Here we go. EMP Tornado flies through. Only connects on the Lion, but boy, does that get pretty low. Tower goes down to the Invoker. They missed the deny again. Now the setup on Nana. Blink forward for Phobos. Here's the split. Oh, in comes the axe. One of the Yules is going to be a Spirit Bomb. Down goes Ghost. He's going to take a lot of damage. Now ADTR on the run. He gets down to Serpents, but it's not going to be enough. Now the Invoker in some trouble. Can he get off a Ghost Walk here? No, he's already used it. He's going to fall. It's a 3-0 as Na'Vi take the fight.
This great counter-initiation play onto the axe. He blinks in with a nice Juricall, but Dendi is there waiting. You take down the axe, you take down most of Invasion's team fight. The rest of the Invasion lineup are very squishy and can't really go in without axe in front lines tanking for them, so... And not to mention this axe, he's not even that tanky. He's only just level 8 still. He's not got anything beyond the blink daggers, so they just have to be very careful when they go diving in as deep as they did for a fight like that.
Yeah, great reaction from Dendi as well to catch the axe inside of the Yules as soon as he blinked in. But easier said than done when you're on this axe. Like you mentioned, this build he's gone for, very squishy overall. You normally think about that blink dagger as very scary on axe, and it is when you're looking at those 2v1 type pickoffs when he has an advantage, but when you're looking at a team fight like that, it just takes a little bit to knock him down. And especially when you have all this kind of magic damage, even the Berserker's Call, but not really enough to help him stand up. Kind of upsetting for Nana, though. He's got this Orchid, but so far hasn't really been able to do too much with it.
His options have seemed to be very limited. If he ever gets caught by any kind of lockdown, a Lion Hex or a Fissure, he's getting blown up almost immediately. The Brewmaster's always going on. He's going to catch out Yol here with the Orchid. Can he do enough damage? Yol's juking in the trees. Can he get out? No. Okay. Orchid will blow him up.
A noble effort.
Kill.
Yeah, not much the Lion can do there. Na'Vi will eventually pick up a gem, I would say. That's one way to deal with this Invoker. Getting a pick off on the Lion, that's a step in the right direction, but he'll need a few more of those to really make this Orchid pay off. I think Invasion staying aggressive, though. I like this style here, Parker.
Yeah, I think it's something they need to do. As much as Element can go late game, the pace this game is that Na'Vi are out farming them. So if they go late game while they're being out farmed, it's no good. If they go to the late game on even footing, then they've got a chance.
Okay. WTF moving through the mid lane. What's he got here? A Yasha, now an Ogre Club. Could be an SMY. Pretty good item on the Drow Ranger if you want to fight a lot here in this mid game. Could also be the beginnings of a BKB. And an item I think he's going to need at some point this game. Lots of magic damage and huge disable on the side of Na'Vi. So smart items there. Looks like, yep, that'll be the BKB. Well, as things stand right now, it seems both teams are going to slow things down. The graph still very even here in game one. Na'Vi with a bit of an XP lead, but the gold is almost not even worth mentioning as far as Na'Vi and the advantage they maybe have. Yeah, they're continuing to stay pretty quiet here. Looks like they're farming up just some core items. Phobos, he's going for more of an aura build. He's got the Vladimir's offering. We haven't really seen Ag's Brewmaster too much. Like the BKB, Vlad's, AC, those kind of items are kind of where Brew stands, I think, in our current metagame. Not sure what they're waiting for before they get more aggressive. Maybe just hoping Invasion will stay aggressive and they can capitalize on that and just play some good defense here.
Yeah. And for Invasion, they've got a bit of a while still before the next Roshan's going to respawn, so that's something they've always going to kind of keep tabs on if you're either team. Invasion aren't going to want to look to take another kind of risky tower siege until they've maybe got another Aegis. They can find a pickup here or there, it's great, but pushing into Na'Vi without Aegis, we've seen a few times already, has not worked out well at all for them.
Yeah, even when they had the Aegis, it didn't work out too well either. So, some big items being picked up here. A pretty quiet game, all things considered, though. 13 kills in 20 minutes. Both teams have been pretty good just finding farm, and I feel like Na'Vi's doing a good job dodging Invasion. They've had to take a couple of fights, but they've chose their fights pretty well, and in general, they've spread the map and kept somebody farming pretty much at all times, at least whenever possible.
Yeah, the fights they've taken have been, it's been a situation where it's like, we're losing a tower, we've got to make something happen. But as long as Invasion are just kind of farming a little bit, Na'Vi will just play keep away, get their own core items up, and their farm is, especially on Dendi, looking pretty damn nice right now.
Yep. Looks like Na'Vi starting to get aggressive now. They'll move into this tier 1 tower mid. Pavos just chipping away at it with the mech, a couple of those beefy items, the Ogre Club point booster. He's feeling pretty good overall and happy to be the front liner for the team. WTF just trying to push him back, exchanging blows. There's this kind of weird stalemate here where both sides are playing chicken with each other. Come on, jump on me. I'm ready. Let's fight. And neither really jumping for the bait yet.
Na'Vi would love to take down this T1 mid tower, make life a lot easier. He's going to be careful, loses all his mind, just being right-clicked down, goes, Jelly misses the dunk! Oh no, here comes Dendi, Requiem catches two! Huge damage, he's looking for the Drow Ranger, throws him up in the air, will have to raise his wave, one raise, two! He gets the swap out, Dave will survive, but his bigger thing gets down, 4 dead for Invasion!
Oh my, Na'Vi doing so well in that fight. He only lives because he has the Ghost Walk and walks away. That was the reveal of the Blink Dagger there on GoBlack. He stayed at the back end of the fight. I don't think Invasion knew that he had it, and then in the end, that was the nail in the coffin, and now they're in a little bit of trouble. That double damage on Dendi. They get an easy tier 1 tower mid, and he's even going to chip it this tier 2.
That Requiem from Dendi caught 2 heroes in melee range and felt like an axe missing the culling blade. So costly for Invasion.
Middle tower
yeah, you need that movement speed buff to either retreat or continue fighting, and without that, oh, it's just the wrong way for that fight to get started. Now all of a sudden, Na'Vi jumping back into the lead. They've got a pretty good net worth and XP lead for themselves, and they should be happy with that as they retreat back to their jungle and continue farming away. That was also the reveal of a couple of BKBs, the 10-second BKB on Dendi and also the 10-second BKB on WTF.
And all things considered, that did feel like a decent fight for Invasion to take. It was just Na'Vi out-execute them, and as you kind of highlighted, the blink from the Earthshaker, a bit of a surprise factor there. They managed to take out Havos very early, as he was positioned so far forward, and there wasn't really any good way to save him, so... Something where Invasion, I think that was the right time to go in. They just had to get that done, and had to not group up for the Requiem.
Yeah, there was also a Blink Dagger reveal on the Shadow Shaman. And he has that Blink Hex initiation. One of the things that makes this hero a very potent support, even in that late game. Axe BKBX. Well, he's looking at an interesting build here, Parker. It seems like he wanted a blade mail, but now he's going to have to change his mind and do something a little more conventional.
Yeah, BKBX, I mean, the magic damage keeps on destroying Invasion. They're probably feeling like they just need BKB on all their cores at some point. Ogre, sorry, not Ogre, Invoker's even picked up an Ogre Club. He's well, going to be making their move, and we'll see how things move from here.
Okay. We'll just be quiet for a moment. There we go. Ghost initiated on. Are they going to find the fight that they want? Ghost goes right in. Bruce Split's already come out. Dendi, BKB, Requiem, huge damage. They lost Gold Black, but now Invasion in a lot of trouble. WTF in the middle of the fray. He'll go down. It's just Nana left. And I don't think the Ghost Walk's going to save you this time, friend. The dust comes out. He throws out a tornado, but it's not going to be enough. They still bring down Dendi, but it's a full 5-man wipe. Havos with a triple kill. Na'Vi get the fight, and now they're going to get Roche.
Yeah, aggressive play from Invasion. They wanted to kind of come check out the Roche and probably go for Roche themselves, but it was Na'Vi who were in there first, already positioned around the pit to win that team fight. They had the perfect place to throw a good fissure, get the good Bruce Split, get the good Requiem off, and Na'Vi come out well on top of that fight, even with Dendi dying in there.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for him. They were really good roster wards right in the middle of the fight, but it's just not enough damage. He hit level 11, I think, after the use of wards, actually. He was on the 10 at the beginning of the fight. So, unfortunate for him. Havost, he'll drop his stick, and he picks up an Aegis of the Immortal. He actually drops his TP, but there you go. Second life on him, and also a Aghanim Scepter.
He dropped his stick in spirit, okay?
Absolutely.
After that fight, now Invasion going to play very reactionary. It's going to be Na'Vi with Aegis on their side. That's something Invasion will kind of stall out, not take any kind of aggressive fights, resort to almost more split push style if you're Invasion, try and take towers when Na'Vi group up for push, but if you're Na'Vi, you're probably thinking, Dendi can get a lot more farms or boss. He's got his Axe Mech, but he's still got money. He can buy a new big item as well soon. Your Manta style, your BKB, whatever it may be. Get some Invasion to maybe deal with the Jar Ranger.
What do you look for here for Havos? I feel like Heart might not be a bad choice. Just really beef up, get tanky, make the life of that Axe a little more difficult. Let you be that front liner that he basically is. I mean, you've got the Bruce Split, but Havos really has to be up in their faces in these team fights.
I think something that gives them some extra survivability, maybe a Manta style, you get a bit of HP with the movement speed, the ability to kind of get out of the Drow Silence, dodge a magic missile, to prevent like a Rasta, Shackles, or Hex. So I think Manta's pretty solid, but anything that just gives you more survivability is going to be good.
All right, so if you're Invasion, what's the play here? You're behind by an Aegis. I guess it's try and just stay defensive, farm up, and try and wait out the Aegis as best he can, but they're not going to have that option. WTF initiated on Blink Hex Finger. He'll BKB, he runs away, and it looks like Navi's smoke will not yield a kill. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Nana, it's an EMP tornado. Havos gets off his mech before he loses his mana. He will have the Aegis, and he's feeling pretty brave. He just starts chipping at this tower. And neither side going to be able to find a kill.
Havos don't need no mana. He's happy to keep on pushing.
Yep. The Brave Viper. Wow, lots of gold up on him.
I mean, for Invasion, their main move is going to be trying to find pickoffs, I feel. Going for like smoke pickoffs, ganks hero there, try find one or two, then back off and try and outfarm Na'Vi. They don't want to take a head-on 5v5 fight. The Aegis on Havos Viper will make that very challenging to come out on top, and just the fact that Dendi is as farmed as he is, almost guaranteed to go for good Requiem. You don't really want to be using a swap to cancel a Requiem. You can just re-channel it after the swap, and the swap is often being used just to save a teammate. So it makes things hard for Invasion as far as dealing with the Shadow Fiend goes.
Yeah, and Dendi's BKB still quite healthy. He's only used it twice. So overall, he should be feeling pretty good. Interesting item choices, though. He goes for the ultimate orb first. Obviously, the beginnings of an Eye of Scotty, I think. But now the Talisman of Invasion, a value item to help him tank up against the Drow Ranger like you were mentioning. I'll be interested to see which item he picks up first. But an interesting inventory right now.
Only a couple minutes left on that Aegis, and both teams, well, it's really up to Na'Vi to make a move. They want to try to turn that Aegis into towers, into objectives, into a team fight. They're the ones who are going to have to push down the lane. And for now, it looks like Havos leading the charge down mid.
Okay, tornado, that'll start it off. That is say goodnight to your mana pool. But like you mentioned, Havos probably the one hero on Na'Vi that's kind of okay with not having too much mana, especially when he's got an Aegis in tow. He'll get cold snap, just getting harassed a little bit. But all things considered, Invasion playing this pretty defensive. They know that the Aegis timer is at least pretty close to expiration, and they'll be patient. WTF split pushing in the top lane. We'll see how much pushing he does, or if he comes back to join the fight.
Yeah, this is going to be the constantly annoying thing for Na'Vi. They're going to make a decision whether they defend or fight. But now it seems they're going to let the Tier 2 top tower go. They're going to take the Tier 2 mid in exchange. Havos going to get the last on that. Gets himself up to a huge pile of gold. Still waiting to see what he'll pick up. And it looks like Na'Vi going to let the top Tier 2 go down to Dave.
All right, WTF. He's still hanging around here. He'll see what kind of damage he can do. Tower for tower exchange, though, not bad for Invasion. When you're behind, that's money in the bank right there. Na'Vi really want to try and make use of the Aegis, but if you're just trading a tower for tower, you're not really getting an advantage out of this. So I think Invasion are going to be pretty happy with how things are. Dave still pushed up very deep in top lane. Up near the Tier 3 towers, chipping away at creep waves, even the Tier 3 tower. Na'Vi just getting to Tier 2. At some point, someone's going to go back if this Drought Ranger wants to commit to the top lane. There's a couple of illusions chipping away in the Tier 3, and here comes the TP. Havos actually cancels his TP. Go Black, be the solo defender. Okay. Earthshaker, one of the better heroes to kind of defend like that. If you're not careful, if he TP's back, that Echo Slam can very quickly ruin your fun, especially if you catch him before that BKB comes out. But one outer tower apiece remaining, a Tier 2 in the top for the Dire, and a Tier 2 mid for the Radiant. Na'Vi still holding on to a gold lead. Pretty solid. The biggest lead we've seen this game, though things are starting to plateau a little bit as this middle of the mid game is turning pretty passive, honestly. Both teams happy just to farm up and look for their next round of core items. Dendi starting to pull up quite a bit of gold himself. Havos already spent some gold. What is it? Oh, there you go. Interesting.
Different approach coming out from Havos. We'll see what Invasion look to do here. The Aegis has now expired, so the next thing teams are going to be concerned about is that Roshan respawn.
WTF,
two
though.
more minutes.
He's a step ahead here. I don't know about this.
Yeah. I guess he's already seen Dendi's one, so.
Oh, very cryptic.
Next Roshan going to be Aegis and Cheese as well, something important to note. If Invasion can get their hands on an Aegis and Cheese, that may be kind of what they need to have a go at a high ground siege.
Yep. Well, some big items coming out for Na'Vi, and I reckon once some of these gets finished up, they'll look to try and turn up the heat. But here we go, Define goes in the jungle. Hex to get things started. Even a Hadouken coming out from the Satyr. He's helping out Na'Vi. It's a kill on the axe, and now Havos Define's Extinct. That's a Viper Strike and an easy kill. Tornado not going to save the Venge. A fast 2-0. Na'Vi take another team fight, and they don't really invest that much. Fingers used, but other than that, they're pretty healthy. A lot of big cooldowns, and we'll see if they try to get something else out of it.
That's a couple of easy pickups at this rate. Na'Vi not going to have any issues taking this last Tier 2 tower top, even start poking at the high ground, securing the next third Roshan. Invasion have to win a fight and push out these lanes if they ever want to be able to go for something like Roshan.
The blink on this Lion is always a big tool, similar to the Shadow Shaman though. That blink hex, very, very potent. Looks like more mobility coming out. What's this DK Phobos doing? Okay, Magic Community. Nothing crazy there. Very standard Brewmaster build here from Phobos.
Yes.
Feels like for the most part just kind of your standard builds and items coming out. Dave has picked up a Demon Edge, so building into what I imagine is going to be an MK build. The MKB, try to deal with the evasion that Dendi has on his Talisman, that the Brewmaster just naturally has with the Drunken Brawler, the Drunken Haze. So MKB, a fantastic item to have this game. Not to mention Havos and Viper. He's picked up the Butterflies, so.
Yeah, that's why the Butterfly Viper is so surprising here. It's already a good MKB game for the Dro, and now you've made it an amazing MKB game for the Dro. But still gives Havos a lot of damage. It's easy to get hung up on that evasion on Butterfly, but it gives you huge damage output. And even the Flutter, one of the more recent changes to the item, gives you that little bit of utility. You can sprint around, and sometimes that can be the make it or break it between death and survival. So still a very good item on that front.
See what the two teams' next move is going to be. And he's got his next big item.
Okay.
With Phobos having a BKB, kind of guarantees that split to come off in a fight unless he gets Blink Hex. What do you make of this Shadow Shaman thing? Not a support we see too often, but has some kind of mixed results, it feels.
Yeah, it's definitely in the comfort zone of Invasion. It seems like they haven't really been able to do enough of it. He's one of those supports that kind of is still relevant late games. You have the Hex, but it feels like the wards just haven't really done a hell of a lot. Sure, they've knocked down a few towers. He's put them down to these team fights that helped secure that kill on Dendi in the last skirmish around Roshan. But yeah, I would agree. It feels a little lukewarm right now. And I mean, there's a reason this hero is not really popular in the meta. One of this thing is just so slow. Even with the arcane boots, only 340 movement speed. But with that, Na'Vi, they get third Roche. And that's Aegis cheese, baby.
They lose a bit, or quite a lot of HP at the top lane. The tier 3 tower getting almost completely taken out, but for an Aegis and G seems well worth it. Well, they're going charging forward. They get the Vision extinct, the TP out from your Drow Ranger with the BKB just be on the safe side. Uh-oh! Vengeful Spirit.
Gets left behind.
That's all they'll lose.
All right, easy kill there. Na'Vi just continuing to find these little pickoffs, giving them a further edge here. And I feel like trading that damage on their tier 3 is worth it for third Roche. The Aegis cheese, a pretty big deal at this stage in the game. It might give them the edge they need to try and break high ground. Still this tier 2 tower in the top lane, but we'll see if Na'Vi can find some sort of an angle to get aggressive here and make the most out of this Aegis cheese. Maybe especially while they have a power play with that the Venge rather in the grave. Meanwhile, Nana finds Yol, and the Orchid not going to be enough damage. Yol will live.
Yeah, it feels like this is Na'Vi's time now. Aegis cheese, got their kind of big items. Your Viper, your SF has been scaling well, picking up a Skadi now. But for Na'Vi, they can kind of progress a little bit. Dendi's been holding on to this talisman, can still look to upgrade it or even trade it out if he's worried about a Drow Ranger MKB. Your Viper can look to replace his DP scroll, already picking up the makings of his next big items. So Na'Vi, though, they say, we're not waiting for these items. We're ready to go now. We've got Aegis cheese. Let's start chipping.
We're ready to fight. They see Invasion with a few heroes out aside of the base. They have pretty good lane control on the top, so throwing not a big threat right now. EMP Tornado will take away that mana from Havost again. It seems like Deja moved from earlier, but they'll back up. They move right into tier 3 tower. Dire do have a glyph here, so they can make a defense. They break the Blink Dagger onto Ghost. He's not going to find that initiation, at least not quite yet, but hey, down bottom, it's ADTR with the Rasta boards doing a lot of damage to this tier 3. Na'Vi will glyph it. Dro, continuing to push, getting closer to the base. Na'Vi need to make something happen here. They'll get the tier 3 in the mid lane, chipping into barracks. Here we go, the initiation on the Nana. He'll BKB, and he backs up. That's defensive. BKB is very defensively, but Havost, maybe in some trouble. It's down bottom where the Earthshaker finds a kill on the Shadow Shaman.
Gets one kill with the Echo Sign, but you've got top lane as well. The melee Rex is going to go down. L has brought down top lane. Na'Vi take a range Rex at mid, but that's a melee. They're going to catch Ghost. Oh, Ghost gets caught as he's trying to go forward, gets swapped back, keeps himself alive. X-Dig takes the finger. He'll go down, but still, Rax for Rax trade. Looks like Drow Ranger has given up on the top range. Rax is going to try and come back and defend, but it's too late. Melee Rax and mid go down. Phobos dodges a Tornado with a BKB, and Na'Vi want more. They're swinging towards the mid lane. Aegis still in hands for Havost. Buybacks available. There's one. Comes out onto the Shadow Shaman. Invasion, they'll use both buybacks. They want to make this defense. They go on to Havost. Remember, he's got the Aegis. He'll go down, but he comes right back. Dendi, BKB, Requiem connects on the team. A blast is coming out. Now Havost is back, and he's ready to fight. They do avenge his whole big head silence. He doesn't get off the split. Oh, the cheese! They bring down Phobos. What a play from Invasion. They're looking for more now. They want the Viper. Dave unwilling to commit, though. That was a huge pickup onto the Brew. The silence and the Hex coming in. He couldn't get off the split.
Very
Invasion keep themselves alive.
Yeah, great trade. The tier 3 tower stays very healthy in the bottom. They end up getting a melee barracks in exchange for their mid lane of full barracks, but they have this bottom tier 3 tower down. The split push is real, Parker, and they're putting the pressure onto Na'Vi. Na'Vi may have a very sizable golden XP advantage, but they need to be very careful about these wrap plays, and at least they pushed in the mid lane where they still have a tier 2 tower safe. That gives them a little bit of a buffer, but they need to be careful.
Just huge split push potential from Drow Ranger and the Shadow Shaman, even without an Ag Scepter. I like ADTR's item build. He couldn't really afford to go for that big Ag Scepter item. Once the Blink initiation, then by the time you find an Ags, it's going to be too late. So buys an item he can use now, gets the 4 stuff as well. And with Aegis no longer on the Na'Vi's side, they're going to be somewhat cautious about going for another push, I feel. Yeah. The BKB's getting a lot shorter as well.
They do still have the cheese, though. Brewmaster's BKB rather healthy. Dendi should be down to 5 seconds by now. No, it's only 7 seconds. He's been very choosy about when he wants to use it. That's something Dendi does very well. But a lot of gold up on him. We'll see when he moves into his next big item. I'm curious if he'll actually upgrade that talisman or if he'll just switch over to something else, given that the evasion's already been completely countered by that MKB.
Yeah, and kind of 50-50. There's still decent right-click damage. Like, even the supports, the Serpent Wards, you've got your Invoker right-click. There is right-click damage all around. I mean, the Drow and Venge kind of make sure of that, but the Drow alone on the MKB.
No, there's a gem on Yol. That trick worked a while ago, but not going to work this time. Surprised to see a Brew Split used for that, but hey, they shut down the Invoker.
Maybe not sure who is sitting behind him, but big thing is here for Invasion. Get the split push going once more. If you're worried about Na'Vi taking another lane to Rax right now, you've got to get top, bottom lane, pushed out as much as possible. If Na'Vi are going down mid, if they're going down bottom, you push out mid, you push out top.
Big kill there, Invoker. Well, never mind. But Na'Vi starting to get a little more aggressive here. Dendi and Havost at least in the bottom lane and pressuring this soon-to-be Tier 3 tower. No glyph for the Dire. Some big items coming out for Na'Vi here. Looks like Dendi going to go ahead and reveal his butterfly. The butterfly boys here in the bottom lane, Parker. They're doing a lot of damage to this. This will be a free Tier 3 tower.
Bottom tower has fallen.
Yep. Nothing to it. Invasion just not ready to defend that one, and I'll back off.
Still holding on to that cheese on Phobos. So they still have that at their disposal. Wow, this Earthshaker, man, he is pretty damn rich.
This is a luxury item you don't get to see every day on an Earthshaker, and Na'Vi's next move is they've got great farm distribution. Even their supports at this point getting a lot more. Compared to your Venge, who's just in your bare basics, 3k net worth. Shadow Shaman's done all right, but not even on the same level as the Na'Vi support.
Venge, very poor. She's at the bottom of the list by a pretty big margin here.
It gets revealed, and it looks like Invasion going to get cold feet, decide to just fall back, not make the foray into the enemy side of the map. Okay, smokes at this point of the game become kind of a precious commodity that teams have to play around.
Yeah.
X has been picked up by your Invoker, by the way. He's staying in the mid lane for now. Going to continue his farm, and
yeah, another big item pickup there. Much needed control for this Invasion side. We'll see if they can do anything here as Na'Vi continue to pressure Havost in the front line, as you would expect. And Cheese has not been passed around, it doesn't look like. Yeah, just sitting on Phobos. Brewmaster, a pretty good hero to handle it, I think.
Oh, Na'Vi going to start looking to breach the high ground here. Ball starts skipping away on the racks, but Invasion, they're going to defend, they come from behind, they're going to die. Two-hero call, dunk on the Yon, Phobos is next, there's your second, and Na'Vi get completely caught unaware. Call with their pants down, another call comes out, goes to Nobos, the right clicks from Dendi doing huge damage. Dog number 3, Dendi winds up, unleashes, brings down just the Shadow Shaman.
But maybe WTF as well, the Scotty's there, there's not much to throw into. Dendi, he's going to be in trouble, Axe comes in, he misses the dunk, but it doesn't matter. Earthshaker still finds the kill on the Dro. He's outside the Death Requiem, and Nana, he'll be okay. A 4 for 3, turned out a little better for Na'Vi than it seemed. A terrible start in that fight, at least they get a couple of redemption kills, but all things considered, a great hold for Invasion, and whoa boy, you can see that bottom line on the team fight recap. Huge fight for Invasion, and of course they
go
keep
black,
their base safe.
Operation Rescue the Gem. Oh. Gets it and gets out.
It's cheeky Earthshaker.
Sneaky plays.
That's a pretty big win for Na'Vi, though, getting the gem back and not handing it over. That's been key in stopping this Invoker from running around the map.
That's your counter to the Shadow Blade that we're seeing on Go Black, and yeah, Na'Vi won it for the Ghost Walk. It's already got them one big kill on Nana, and at this stage of the game, map control is going to become very, very important. So we're seeing it here. These two teams, things going down to the wire. Even as far as both teams taking a lane of racks, both teams taking an extra tier 3 tower, and both teams with a tier 2 in their other lane. There is very little separating the two teams as far as structures go. As far as farm goes, Na'Vi's still with a bit of an edge.
Yeah, definitely. Those are the kind of plays that Invasion will have to do, though. The sneak from behind, Na'Vi did not see that coming, and there probably should have been some warning signs when they're knocking on exposed barracks and Invasion is nowhere to be found, nowhere on the map, not defending. Yeah, there's probably something fishy going on around there. And I doubt Invasion will have the luxury of finding initiation like that, or at least not when Na'Vi's so deep in enemy territory.
Yeah, they took the gem out of the picture right off the bat, but who the next move may be. Both teams going to be kind of probably playing fairly slow. Always going to be kind of keeping an eye on that next Roshan. Aegis and Cheese will be Roche number 4. Na'Vi so far have had the Roshan advantage. They've been taking the second as well as the third Roche. We'll see if that kind of trend continues here moving forward.
Dendi now has he finds Nana down bottom. BKB goes right in. The rest of the team follows up. Throwing. Things go down in a matter of seconds. Invasion in a lot of trouble. Their team gets wiped up on the backside. Nana tries to BKB TP. He makes it out with a sliver of HP, but the damage has been done. Buybacks looking grim, and it's Na'Vi to take the fight.
That Invoker just charging forward. I thought he made a bit of a mistake not hexing Dendi, but even if he hexed Dendi, his team just got demolished. The back lines got taken out by the team fight of your Brew, your Earthshaker, your Viper, and this is looking like bottom lane of Rax and possibly even more being lost. Na'Vi can't go for the top lane. They've still got a T2 tower there, so they can go for the tier 4s if they want. They're going to flip it, catch out your Dragon Ranger. He just falls back. Oh no, everything just falling apart for Invasion. WTF, can he get back to base? The Evasion, the Talisman. Saved him from one last right click from that Viper. That may have killed him off.
Yeah, that's pretty close. The dieback there would have been grimly. They still lose the barracks though. Na'Vi not going to be able to get tier 4s, I don't think, and they will just back out.
Na'Vi have to worry about their own tier 4s.
Speaking of tier 4s, yeah, their top lane is completely pushed in, and this will be where Na'Vi want to get some creep Iridium back. Still forcing 2 buybacks there and still getting the barracks. Another big win for Na'Vi. See the golden experience graphs reflect their success there. And now both teams have scattered out Roshan. There was a Forge Spirit in there earlier. Na'Vi walked by and check out the big guy. Neither side really too interested right now, but I'm sure it'll become a focal point.
Yeah. That's the thing. Both teams knowing Roche's backup is going to mean there's a lot of time spent around that pit. If Na'Vi get Aegis and Cheese, it's almost just game over from that. So Invasion, I feel, really need to try and contest it. If Na'Vi go for it, they've got to go in and fight. They can't just let Na'Vi get another free Roshan. They've had 2 in a row. They can't afford to give them a third.
Oh, here we go. Initiated on swap back to Dendi. BKB spear right on top of the bench. It's a one-hit KO. Nana may still make it out. Roche very low. WTF extended shot. It goes down to the dire. Roche will get taken out. And it's WTF that gets the Aegis. He goes down. He'll be coming back in a matter of seconds. But what can he do here? Big dunk from Goldblack. He finds the kill on Invoker. Now the rest of the fight breaks out. Lion gets dunked, but it's Na'Vi doing the big damage here. Invasion in a lot of trouble. They get cleaned up. Ghost the lone survivor, and probably not for long. That's going to be Go Black. The core shaker now doing some big damage. And again, Na'Vi clear out Invasion. They don't get Roche, but they don't need it.
Yeah. And all that's left for Invasion is avoiding Na'Vi split pushing. Hope this creep wave at top can do some damage, but the entire team dead. Yol even going to buy back just to secure that kind of top lane so it doesn't get pushed in. The Invoker
for the win here.
Buys back, and yep, they're going for the GG. They're going for the throw.
No blip either. Only one buyback available, but it's on the bench, and Invasion won't even fight it. GG, well played is called, and Na'Vi take the first match of this tournament.
Well, a very tense game here to open things up at the Maple Star 32 land, Andrew. And Na'Vi looking solid, but Invasion, I say, they really impressed me.
Yeah, I think Na'Vi were favorites coming in, but it was a pretty close game. One of the big problems was this Quaswex Invoker. It felt like kind of a gamble pickup. We were talking about the advantages of Exort versus Quaswex, and he ended up getting a decently timed Orchid, but he couldn't really control the game with it. Na'Vi just seemed to step ahead, and I think he only got like 1 pick off on the line, and you just got to get more than that.